What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Stirfry. It's your boy, Chef T.
I'm Will the Spacekid.
And our special guest today is Denisha B.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're an author. That's amazing.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Do you also do nonprofit work, too?
Yes, okay. I do. I have a business called Intelligent Noise. It's a nonprofit. And along with that, the name speaks for itself, Intelligent Noise. So for lack of better words, I'm all over the place, but I dip and dabble in a lot.
A lot? Okay. So, specifically with your writing, how do you kind of get into writing?
Whew. Okay, so I've been writing since I was 12.
Okay.
Just little journal entries and short stories to myself and just doodling a lot. So that's how I got into it. I really didn't pick up being an author until maybe last year.
Okay.
And it's like I'm literally sitting on maybe 12 books that's waiting to be published.
That's amazing.
And it's like, I have to do something with this. And then it was like, let me publish through somebody. And then it was like, nope, I'm going to do this myself. So the birth of Twisted Suicide, birthed Intelligent Noise. So not only am I an author, a business owner, I do also help future authors. They can publish through me, or I can teach them how to become an author.
That's amazing. So take it back to when you were just writing those journal entries or whatever. Was English class like something you just loved to be in?
Yes.
Okay. See, I was the opposite of that. I was like, English, no thanks.
Yeah.
I don't think I even read I think The Outsiders is like the only book I read in high school. Wow. Good book, though.
Oh, I like English.
Really?
It's like the easiest class to pass.
Really, math was for me. I'm more like a math
Never
guy.
got into math.
I know that sounds crazy because most people are like, what the fuck are you talking about? But
yeah, because once they started adding letters with numbers, it was like, yeah, no, I quit.
Yeah, you're like, what the hell is this?
I quit.
So what was kind of like one of your first stories you remember writing? You know, because...
The first story I've ever wrote, well, it was based on a true story. It was a diary entry, actually. It was about my day, and I think my dad or something had made me mad, and I was just, like, going off in a notebook. He actually ended up finding a notebook. We had a long talk.
Oh, no.
The first thing I ever wrote was music. So I dibble and dabble with that, too. So when my dad was doing music at the time, I just wrote raps and rap with my brothers. So I'm all over the place when it comes to writing.
So you do everything. Yeah, you're just like, I love that. That's what we're all about.
Yeah.
Okay. When you said rap music, what type of rap music? Let's get a little bit more specific.
Okay, so at the time we were not old enough to curse, so
okay, so clean,
just basic stuff about being a preteen, a teenager. You know, the shoes, the clothes, the haters, like just stuff like that.
Okay, got you. So more so, I don't know. So was more so real life? Were y'all creating like alter egos?
With my brothers, I wouldn't say they were creating alter egos. I think that was just them. For me, it was never about an alter ego either. I just wrote what I felt, and if my dad gave me a dope beat, all right, I'll be back in an hour.
Okay.
An hour tops. So maybe a little bit longer, but that's just what we were having fun with it. I still dabble with music here and there. But I don't like my voice, so I don't record. I do write, but I don't record myself.
So yeah, I mean, I think writing takes all forms, right? So it's like, yeah, you can even write for people with that stuff, or like, you know, write books or short stories. Mm-hmm. What do you think is kind of the benefit, though, to like when you're starting out young, writing in those journals? You know, I think that a lot of people don't do that kind of stuff, and it has some benefits.
It does, because it helped me enhance, and I had a sixth grade teacher actually named Miss Walton, who took a liking to my writing, and I didn't understand then, but as a 28-year-old, I definitely understand. She told me that I was gonna go far with it, and like I said, I didn't really take my writing seriously until last year, like publicly letting everybody into my writing world.
Yeah.
So. You said you didn't take it serious until last year, but like on the back of your book, it says like it was a handwritten copy. So
yes.
So at that time, what was your goal when you were passing out these copies?
It was one copy.
So it was one copy. Okay, that changes a lot.
With Amazon, you have to tweak some things, but it was one copy. I was working at a call center, and we couldn't do absolutely nothing. We couldn't be on our phones. We had to, like in school, raise your hand if you gotta go to the bathroom.
Really?
And me and a friend of mine, Lisa, we both were talking, and she's a writer, I'm a writer, and I'm like, I'm working on this story, and I pass it to her, she passed it to that person, passed it to that person, and then my manager came to me like, you need to do something with this, like, and this was in 2016. I'm like, yeah, no, it's boredom. That's all it is. No. And then she was like, okay, well, here's a number to such and such. They'll publish it for you, edit it. And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. This is just something to get to 4:30 because I was going to work from 8 to 4:30. So literally getting up at 6 every morning to drive to Parma, Solon, wherever it was. It's like we're bored all day.
Yeah.
And then them 15 minutes go by fast. The 30-minute break go by fast. And it's just like, we have to find something to do. So that's just what that was. And then last year was like, you have binders full of stories that could be told. If nobody like it, oh well, is you doing something for you. Not only are you making money doing it, you could probably lift somebody up or entertain somebody.
Yeah.
So that's just what that was.
So was it a big step really showing people your work? Was it kind of like, oh...
I was nervous. I was a nervous wreck. Everything was going good. I got Twisted Suicide off of paper, literally handwritten out, 250 pages front and back. Typing it out was, of course, easy. Then, you got the enhancements on the Word documents and stuff like that. So that was easy. I would say maybe the week before the book was due to drop, everything went wrong.
It always does. Murphy's Law, right?
Yeah, everything
can go wrong, will go wrong.
Man, everything went wrong. Amazon was down. It was telling me my cover was wrong. The size of the book was wrong. And then the day before, I got the email like, it's live on Amazon. And it was like, oh, okay, cool, fine. And I just was like, it didn't hit me at all. And then getting a physical copy, it still didn't hit me to this day. Twisted Suicide has been out since May 20th. May 20th. And it's still like, no, I got a book on Amazon.
Yeah.
Because it still hasn't hit me. And then...
Well, you got all these distractions with all this, election, COVID stuff. It's all going on right now. It's like...
And that was the whole thing because it dropped in the midst of the pandemic.
Boom.
And it did more than I thought it would. Like,
it could have been better because everyone's home.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, what are we going to do with our time? Oh.
Yeah, the only thing that I was upset about was I couldn't have a book signing.
Yeah.
Okay. So
you need to do that. You need to
actually, I am hosting a vendors event, so I will be there with part 1 and part 2 signing copies.
Okay.
So 2 birds, 1 stone.
And is this one the first?
Yes.
Okay.
That is the first.
Part 1.
Part 2 is Twisted Suicide, Raising Rylen. So it's a continuance of the first one. Hopefully there's not a third. Hopefully I can wrap it up.
I just can't wait. I want to see the movies that come, So,
oh, man.
You need to work on something. Hey, we make movies. I'm a filmmaker.
We
Maybe
can get
a collaboration.
Together.
Yeah.
For sure. We definitely can. I do a little acting on the side too now.
Okay.
Definitely like the actors.
Yeah.
So you decided to take this book serious, and you said you typed it out yourself. So this isn't like a team effort. It's more so just you.
All me.
Okay, so do you also edit it, all the words?
Edit. I do it all.
Okay, got you. So when you were doing this, how did you decide on certain things? Like, I want my book to go on Amazon versus I don't want my book to go on Amazon.
You have a bowl full of names, and I was actually watching Tay B. I think that's her name. Yes, Tay. I was watching her, and I always told her, I want to put out a book, and she's like, go for it. And you have a bowl full of names, and you just got to pick the best one, and Amazon won, basically.
Okay.
They help it out with a lot versus the other websites. If something was wrong, they'll email me like, hey, you need to go fix this. Or before I even uploaded the book, hey, your cover needs to look like this, and this. So it was more easier for me to go through Amazon than any other website. And then Amazon just want a percentage. versus the other websites. They want to present percentage when you create the book, when you put the book on there, when the book comes out, when you sell the book. Yeah. And Amazon was just like, it's our customer. We just want a percentage. Now, don't get me wrong. That percentage is kind of up there, but it's fair because it's their customer.
Yeah. So, were you going to say something, Will?
Well, yeah, I was going to also say, what was your, so how long do you feel like it took you, this process, if you was to really just dedicate your time on something? Well, let's say the book is already written.
Okay.
So after the book is written, how long of a process do you think it is to get your book actually published and out on these sites, print on demand?
Honestly, I can't answer that because I don't know. I've been with Amazon, so I didn't even, after I saw the other rates and all that, it was like, Amazon, and I haven't looked at anyone else as of right now.
Yeah, but how long? So I think what you're trying to say, Will, is how long was that time frame between when you wrote the book to when you're able to find and publish it actually?
Suicide wrote in 2016, so all I had to do was find a site to publish it on. But time-wise, actually, okay, if the book is already written, to get it published with Amazon, it takes 72 hours.
Okay. But it was so it was written in 2016. Mm-hmm. You had it in there. You weren't confident yet in publishing it. Am I right? Okay, you weren't confident yet. What made you do that in 2020?
Jeez. 2019 was the worst year of my life. I'm not going to go into that, but it was the worst year of my life. And I decided to make a change. Something had to change. I had to do something different. And I also have an 8-year-old son. So why sit on talent that I have? And I have so many people telling me, you're talented. Do what you need to do with it and not do anything with it. So that's what I did. I just was like, if it sell, it sell. If it don't, it don't. And it did. Now, I'm not, bestsellers #1 yet, but it's a process. Yeah, it's a process. A process that I enjoy.
Yeah. That's amazing because I think that people have these ideas of I could write a book. Mm-hmm. Say they're working at a call center like you, or they're working at somewhere where, this is something that you can't just jump into being an author. You can jump into being an author, but it doesn't seem valuable enough to some people. It's like, oh, Dad, I think I'm going to become an author.
Right.
Or Mom, I think I'm going to be an author. They look at you like, oh, okay, whatever. But it's not as frugal as, other careers, I guess.
Right. So it's not, because for being an author is time consuming.
Yeah.
Very. You have to sit down, you have to write, you have to edit. If you're doing this stuff yourself like me, you have to sit down, you have to edit, you have to make sure that, your Microsoft meet the guidelines. So it is time consuming, and not too many people will be like, oh yeah, you're an author.
Yeah.
But if anybody wants to be an author, I say go for it. Don't stop. I'm upset with myself because I waited to 28, but perfect timing, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, everything happens for a reason.
For sure.
Definitely. So what is kind of your process when you're like, hey, I have this idea for a book, I want to start it?
My process goes a little something like this. I have a whole list of names, and I pick a name, I create the character, and the story basically writes itself. Versus Twisted Suicide, that actually had a plot. I actually sat down and wrote down okay, I want this chapter to be about this, and I want this character to do this. Right. Here, as of lately, I picked up back on my craft, so the stories are just coming. They're just coming to me.
So yeah, so you just sit down and just boom, once you're in the zone, you're just in the zone.
Yeah, and it's hard for me to come out of it because it's
it's 4 in the morning. You're damn.
Because with part 2, literally up until 7 this morning, trying to edit, get it finished. And it's nope, I want to add this. No, I want to take this out. But I really should add this. But no, I'm going to take this out. And it's I have to be mindful of my audiences because I do have older crowd. So I'm trying to shy away from a lot of cussing and a lot of slang talk just for my older crowd.
Yeah. Well, how do you balance that kind of, you could sit there all night, every night. Okay. But you have a family, you have work and stuff. How do you balance all that?
Okay, so I'm back at a call center.
Oh, shit.
So I get to type in between calls. I have an 8-year. Yes,
that's clutch.
I have an 8-year-old, so he's getting to the age where it's like, "Oh, mommy, I just want to be by myself right now." So
cool.
I have a lot of free time, and then I'm not the type to really go bar hopping, club hopping. So it's like, let me sit here and perfect my craft. Now, I will not say that I'm dedicated 24/7 because I am not. Sometimes as an author, I get irritated. Like, especially when I know what I'm trying to put out and it's not coming together how I want it, it frustrates me. I deleted a whole chapter at work today. Like, nope, don't like it.
So me, I'm super like down with creativity, but I feel like your cover would test like some people's boundaries. So what were you thinking with the cover? So when I say that, like some covers are kind of like commercially made, but if I'm in a bookstore and let's say, like I have a kid or whatever, they pick up the book, my assumption is like, whoa, this looks kind of like graphic, which that might not even be the case, right? Mm-hmm. But when you were making your cover, what was kind of like your thoughts?
It was the name for me.
Okay.
I wanted something to match the name.
Okay.
I wanted something that was going to be like, I need to get this book. Like, hold on, Twisted Suicide. What? Like, what you mean?
Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, fire name.
Shout out to Alexa. She really brought the main character to life. Like, yeah, we gave her direction at the photo shoot, but when we got the pictures back, it was like, wow.
So was the blood, like, is that like digital or was that like actually at the photo shoot? How did that happen?
She came in character. She also does makeup and
great.
Yeah, so she did that herself and
so basically you gave her like a synopsis and she was ready. Like, I'm gonna come in character, I'm gonna have my knife ready, the blood is gonna be on me with the right makeup.
I actually sent her not a hard copy, a dummy copy, however you want to put it. I sent her a copy of the book and I explained it to her, and when she showed up it was like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, let's run.
Let's go. And photo cred Ned, he was amazing. He just, hey, explain to me what you want, I got you. And he was even helpful with, okay, if we get her from this angle, it'll look like this. Or if I do this, it'll look like this. And he was letting me watch the pictures pop up. And it was like, I want that picture. Oh, no, but I want that picture. But can I use this for promo? But no, that's the cover right there. And then me and my best friend sat down. I was like, I don't know which one. So it was kind of like whatever I land my finger on, that's the cover. Because Alexa did an amazing job with the cover.
Came out great.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's like a really captivating thing that, I'm excited to read it because, I mean, like Will said, the covers, it grabs your attention, and it grabs your attention. You wonder, like, what's this about?
That's what I was going for.
Right. Yeah. But because, if I'm not mistaken, they're the same people, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, this could be metaphorical. Mm-hmm. It could mean a lot of different things.
For sure.
So that's why I'm excited about it. So was this based off of anything you've experienced in life, or was it just totally fictional, made up?
Totally made up. Okay. Nothing I've ever experienced.
Okay.
From no one you know,
no one I know.
Just boom from your mind.
Wherever it comes from up here, it was on paper, 250 pages front and back. So I don't know where I got it from. My best friend told me, you're sick and you're a little twisted.
I feel like you have to be a little twisted to write anything. Like,
yeah, especially something in this genre. It was like, is these my inside thoughts? But no, like I just created it. I created the main character and it just took off from where it was at.
So, obviously, you can't give them the whole sauce of the book, but how did you come up with the party promoter character? Like, why party promoter? Like, it's so many.
Because I read so many books where a lot of the main characters have like high-end jobs like lawyers or doctors, and it was like, let's do something simple. Like, give her, a simple life. She's a party promoter.
Okay.
Now, don't get me wrong. Party promoters make money.
Definitely. Yeah.
It's not. I'm not slighting the party promoters. However, it's not something you wake up like, oh, I want to be a party promoter. Yeah. So I gave her that, and
okay,
she just the character just took
I mean,
off.
definitely not typical.
And relatable, though. I mean, people know party promoters.
Yeah.
People, like, know that kind of world. And it feels kind of... I know more probably party promoters than I do, like, if she was a lawyer somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, I don't...
And then with that, I also did party promoter because if you do lawyer, then now you're naming a firm, and then you have to deal with, so I based it... The books is based here in Cleveland. That's
right.
where the stories are. And because it's all me, I don't want anybody taking credit for anything. I might mention a place but you know that whole thing. Oh, you mentioned me in your book, me and you going to court. So it was like, the clubs are totally made up.
Yeah.
So, that's just how I did that. So this is nonfiction. Let's move it around. Yeah, we're here in Cleveland, but when you read the book, you're like, what? What is club at? Let me Google this. Like,
yeah,
and it's like, no, it's not real. It's not real. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So who's kind of a writer that inspired you, like, to write?
One is my Angelou.
Legend.
And that's it. That's from the poetry side, though. Like, stories, I really don't have anybody. I think
Who do you read a lot of?
Me. not trying to be funny. Like, I haven't read anybody else's book in so long that I can't even say. I think the last book I read was a Triple Crown book. Nope, I take that back. The last book I read was by Keela MacArthur, From the Pole to the Pulpit. She's also an author I got a chance to meet at a vendor's event, and her book was dope.
So often with creatives, I feel like it's kind of two processes where people either zone out and they can't even like look at other people's work, and then there's also a process where like people look at everybody's work and then kind of like balance it out with theirs. So you feel like more so like you just zone out, like, okay, I'm about to look at my last book, compare it to what I'm trying to do now. Is that kind of like the process? Like, how can I improve?
Kind of, sort of. I'm open. I'm not just closed-minded to reading anybody else's work. It's just right now I have to focus on my own. Right. No shade or anything like that. I'm open. I'm an author, read my book. Okay, cool. And I'm going to read it in between calls and while I'm typing my own material, and I'm going to give you feedback.
Yeah. Super dope. Yeah, I mean, when you're writing this book, you say you edit yourself?
Yes.
What was that decision when you're like, should I pay somebody of like a place to edit it and go through and kind of flesh out my ideas? Especially when it's your first book and you're presenting to people, you want it to be like the best book you can do.
With that, I went in saying that I wanted everything to be me. Okay. And I don't slight anybody else's work, and I don't slight anybody else's judgment. However, for me to grow as an author, I have to learn all aspects of being an author. So I wanted to publish myself. I wanted to edit myself. And I get to learn as I'm going. So when Google can't help, let me go to this library and pick this book up and read up on it so I can perfect this in my craft. And that's just it. That's the whole process with me. And then money. I am very, very funny about where I spend my money. I think everybody is, but me, I think you'd be like, are you serious? But I'm real funny about my money, and it's my work. And again, I'm open to suggestions and opinions. I'm just not open to, hey, I wrote that. What's going on? And I've seen it before. I've heard about it and was like, yeah, if I'm going to do this, I'm doing this by myself. That's
with you, to prove it. I like that because you prove that, I think you do need a little bit of, criticism at some point, but I think when you do it yourself at first, that's all that matters. Right. Because it's like, oh, I did this.
That's what it was for me. And also with Twisted Suicide, everybody's like, yeah, the book is great. The book is dope. I love it. We need a part 2. But you had some misspelled words and some typos. So it was like, okay, so there it is. That's what I needed. Like,
but it's a process.
Yeah, so now with part 2, I'm like, hold on. That's better, right? Let me go ask Google. Sorry, how you spell this? So, it's a learning process, and I'm all for learning and perfecting my craft.
Yeah, before you publish, do you have, friends and family that can read it through it, or...
My best friend, Brandy, she didn't even want to buy the book no more because it was like, okay, so here's the first chapter. And I literally read her the whole book before it even came out. So she was like, I just want a copy for you to sign it, and if I get bored, I'll read it again, even though I already know this about. I literally got on my friend's nerves. Like, does this sound right? Do you think I should put this in there? And then one of the characters in the story, it's only one real character in the story, and that's my best friend, Monet. She's mentioned in the story. And it's not her real life either, but it was like, that's my best friend. She's been my best friend since 3rd grade, and I kind of paid a tribute to her.
That's awesome, yeah. I think it's super important to have, I think it's super important to have those friends around you that kind of motivate you. And, I mean, I'm sure you have a friend that, you know, if something doesn't sound right, they'll be honest with you. Openly,
brutally honest. Like, what? Like,
really, I like that.
Brandy and Monet, like, I don't have a yes man corner.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have friends that okay my BS. So my friends are like, yeah, no, don't put that in there, or say that for the next book, or take this character out and put that in the other book. So my friends are brutally honest.
Yeah. Why do you think that's important?
It's important because it builds you. It builds your character. It lets you know that there are people out here that love you, and they're not going to have you out here looking crazy.
Yeah.
They rather tell you the truth and risk you being mad at them than to lie to you and, again, risk you being mad at them. So either way, it's like, if I tell her the truth, she's going to be mad, but then she'll get over it. If I lie to her, this puts our friendship at stake. So
yeah. And it helps you grow, I'm sure.
For sure.
You know, because you're like, oh, damn, you're right. Yeah. And it makes a better end result, I think, at the end. Mm-hmm. You know, as much as you can be like, you know, I know when I'm doing a video and someone's like, oh, this could be changed. At first I'm like, but then once I do it, I'm like, you're right. You know, it actually did turn out.
And I'm actually kind of hard-headed, so I had to be told multiple times, like, no, don't make that move. And I think that it helped me. And I think that if I would have went my own way without consulting with my friends, that I don't think Twisted Suicide would have did as good as it did.
Yeah. So where are you having your signing or vendors, you said?
Yes. October 24th from 12 to 4, we will be in the Leon Harvard Plaza, Ken Ferguson event building. I think it's 16824.
Okay, I've been over there before.
Yep, and sitting right next to the post office. So myself and other vendors have came together to sell our product, promote ourselves. So I'll be there with both copies if God allows me to have the second copy by then.
Oh yeah, that's all. So yes, is that finished and published? So you're just waiting on the hard copies?
It's finished. It's sitting in Amazon, idling right now. My drop date is the 20th, so that's a couple of days before the event. So I'm trying to play it by ear. My best friend like, you should have dropped it way before then. But it's like, even still, I probably would have got the books around the same time. And even if I don't have the books, you can pre-order it with me. You know, I have a receipt book. I take cards. I ship. I deliver. You come to me. A little bit cheaper if you come to me. But I'm going to be there.
All right. Yeah. So how does it work? Do you go with Amazon to help you publish the physical copies of the book, right?
Yes.
And then do you order a bunch in bulk, and then also have the option of ordering it on Amazon too?
Mm-hmm. I put it out there that is because I want my sales to go up on Amazon, and I don't want Amazon to be like, oh, she's just using us to print the book out. I promote Amazon first. And then I'll maybe order 20 to 30 copies myself. And then, hey, I got books on hand. You can't order from Amazon? I have books on hand.
Yeah. So,
you know, Twisted Suicide, the paperback is on Amazon for $12. I think with shipping, I think it's like $14. So I went along with that. Hey, I have copies of Twisted Suicide. It's $10 if you come get it from me. But if I have to come to you, that's $15. If I have to ship, it's $20. So that's how
that makes sense. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a book, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and that was another word, like, do people read anymore? And it was like, oh, they got Kindle, so it's also on Kindle for $8.
Yeah. See, that's the beauty of it. Like, if people can't afford, like, $12 or whatever, mm-hmm. They're like, oh, it's too much.
See, I'm also, because I'm a nonprofit business owner, I also give away copies. Hey, do this on social media and you got a free copy. Even before part 2 is to drop, hey, listen, you want a free copy of Raising Rylen? Do a Twisted Suicide Raising Rylen. Follow me on, social media and, get somebody to share this post and there's your free copy.
Yeah. That's great because people are always thinking about it in terms of profit.
Mm-hmm.
But when you think in terms of, it'll be beneficial no matter what because that person that you give it to away for free, they're going to talk about it.
Right.
It'll spread word of mouth and hopefully it'll encourage other people to buy it.
True, and I'm a firm believer it's better to give than receive.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in that. I feel like if I, give, I'll receive more back than what I actually put out.
Definitely.
Oh, 100%. That's what we did with these shirts. So all these shirts go to the Boys and Girls Club of Cleveland. All the profits and proceeds go straight to there. And that's what we do. We're like, why would we want shirts out, but we want to spread a good message with them.
Yeah.
How can we do that?
For sure.
And it's the best way to just give. So tell us a little bit more about kind of your nonprofit.
With Intelligent Noise, what I focused on was the author side. I had so many people telling me that they wanted to be an author but didn't know how or where to start. So it was like, So I created, a lot of us are doing meetings on Zoom. So I created a Zoom class called Becoming an Author. And I literally give you step-by-step on how to become an author. That didn't go so well. I had a couple people sign up, but as a business owner, what made me mad is like I had a flood of emails, a flood of inboxes, and then 2 people showed up. So it was like, you know what? I'm sitting here every Saturday. I could be doing anything else in the world, but I'm dedicating myself to my craft, and I would dedicate myself to those 2 to 3 people that would pop in and pop on. So now I charge $10.
Okay.
So it actually, Becoming an Author actually resumes next Monday at 8:30 Zoom. Inbox me for the password and the login, and we get you in there Monday, and you learn how to become an author. Okay. And I also have 2 packages, the pink package and the black package, where if you want to work with me or have me work with you in writing your book, hey,
like
listen.
A one-on-one type thing?
Yeah. Okay. So one package is $50, which I just do the bare minimum. I teach you step by step, and then you're on your own, basically. And then the black package, no, that's the pink package. The black package, that's the package that has everything. One-on-one time. I'm in constant communication with you. I'm helping you create your Amazon account. Well, KDP, they call it. I'm giving you my connects to, hey, listen, what kind of book cover you want. I know people who draw. I know people who take pictures. And my friend just happens to be a photographer. So we've been working hand in hand. She actually did the cover for part 2. So okay. Shout out to B. Deshawn Photography for that. If you want to perfect your craft, I'm here to help you. Now, I do not claim to know everything because I'm just starting out and I'm still learning. And I do tell people that, however, I think I'm the most cheapest on the market. I remember being in the authors group where I asked for help to upload it on Amazon, and she inboxed me like, yeah, that's $250. And it was like, $250?
Yeah, I just asked one question.
I just wanted a question. And it was like, I don't think that you should overcharge your gift. Like, don't do that. So it was like, for a limited time, only $10.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I like that because, again, the hardest part about being an author is actually writing. That's actually the easy part. Really?
That writing it is actually the easy part, unless
that blank screen, make it difficult. The blank screen is just so tedious.
That's why you gotta get a notebook.
Okay.
So for the beginner, I tell the beginners all the time, get a notebook. And just like you said, the writing is the hardest part. I get that all the time. And it's like, maybe because I feel like I'm advanced in that area, that I'd be like, what? Right. But the writing is the easiest part. Just get you a notebook, create a character, give this character life, bring the character to life. And if you are a reader to where when you read something, you can see it, like it's playing in your head, that's what you want to go for. I shocked myself with Twisted Suicide. I'm like, wait, I can see this? Like, anybody else see this? Yeah. But no, start with one character, and then maybe create a sister or a brother or a best friend or a lover or a spouse, however you want to call it, and just bring it to life. Like, okay, so with Twisted Suicide, Cadence is a party promoter. She's also a best friend. She's a sister. She's a spouse. And I based everything off that. Like, okay, so she's a party promoter, a successful party promoter. Everything in life's just not this perfect. So let's shake it up a little bit.
So you base, I love that you base it around the characters. Mm-hmm. That's something I don't think people really think about. It's think about letting it unfold as it should, because you already know who the character is in and out. You know how they react to situations. And I think that makes a better story, because if you think about it in terms of just solely plot, it'll have holes in it. You know?
I call it on the Zoom class getting to know your character.
Yeah.
If you create the character, the story basically creates itself. Like, you have to know your character. Like, you don't be like, well, she did this in chapter 1, but what's she gonna do in chapter 2? Like, so that's how I do it. Create one main character, and then the other characters just fall into place. The hardest part for me in writing is naming the characters, because I don't want to keep using the same character.
Because some can be cheesy feeling. You're like,
oh no, because that's such and such son's name, or that's this. So I try to either use an older name or a younger name, or try to put some stuff together.
Yeah.
So
that is kind of the hardest part, honestly. Yes. Just like,
what I did was, I created a list of names, and if I've already used the name, I put a check by it. So Cadence,
that's interesting.
Dylan, Asia, and Keela, and of course Monet. And Sincere. Excuse me. I crossed them off the list. And once I build the main characters, like, okay, so Asia is the best friend to Cadence. Keela is the sister, the little sister to Cadence. Sincere is the boyfriend. Dylan is the boyfriend of the sister. Monet, of course, is, she jumps in helping the sister. I don't want to give it away, but jumps in helping the sister as a friend. So, and it's even to the side characters like Jazz and Abdul and, other characters that just pop in and out, but you know who they are because I've mentioned them before. So you're like, so that's where he came from, So in part 2, I think I highlight one of the characters that was just thrown in the first part and then like quickly taken out. And that was the character Gianni. Like, I threw her in there as Cadence female lover, but then I quickly took her out. So you really don't hear no more about her until part 2.
So, okay, so we're talking about names. So why Denisha B? That's your brand name, like your author name.
That's my name. Barrett is my last name. Denisha is actually my name.
Right, but you could have been Denisha Barrett or Denisha.
Yeah, so why just the B? Like, what made you say I want that? That's how I want it to be when people see the book.
Because I like the way it looks. I really have no reason. And that's what Nisha B when I was 16. And it was just I built more confidence in myself to actually, because when I growing up, I did not like my name. From the first, middle.
Got you.
I didn't like my name. So as a 28-year-old, I don't need an alter ego. I can be me. I don't have to create this person. Now, don't get me wrong. If, I still will introduce myself as Nisha. And that's only because I've been saying it for so long.
Right.
However, it was I wanted to be more professional. I wanted people to get to know me. So that's why I use my, as we call it, the government name.
Okay.
No, I think it's catchy. It's simple. Denisha B. Mm-hmm. You just it catches the eye and in the ear.
Yeah, because I always look at branding as you have to make choices. Because the choice could have been your actual last name.
Right.
But you said no, it's just going to be, and then you got the period after it.
That's it.
And that's it.
That's it.
Awesome. So
pretty cool.
So what would be one thing you would tell younger Denisha about? Even just writing or pursuing her dreams?
Take it seriously. Don't wait. Take it now. When you were sitting in that classroom and she looked at you and said, "You're going to go far," go. Take off.
I love it. That's great tips. No, I think everyone should really just think about it, and if they want to start it, just do it. Doesn't matter what it is. Mm-hmm. Could be writing a book, could be, acting in a play or acting in a movie or making music.
What's stopping you is you not starting at all. You have these, for me, I sat on these books and I sat on these stories or however you want to put it, and now I'm about to be 30 and it's how long I got left again, Jesus? I got enough time to enjoy this. So just don't sit on your craft. If you're good at something, perfect it and put it out there.
Yeah.
That's the only advice I can give. I had to take my own advice because I used to promote everybody else. And, share this post. You didn't even have to ask me. I was sharing such and such is doing this, and this. And
sure, boo.
I had to take my own advice and promote myself. I tell my, class in the Zoom class, you are your biggest promoter. Don't wait for mommy to share the post. Don't wait for daddy to share the post. If you got to share the same picture 1,000,000 times, share it. I know I have maybe over probably 25 of the same picture as Twisted Suicide. Same promo pic, same cover page, all that. Like, you are your biggest promoter. Because the more people see it, the more people are going to be like, okay, she done posted this a couple times. I done seen this on my timeline before. Like, let me go, check and see what this is about. So that's what that was.
Yeah, you got to stop thinking about other people's interpretation of it. If you believe in it, just do it.
For sure.
Throw it out there. Give it to the world. Because people don't want to be a part of something until it's already popping,
Yeah.
And then your book's a bestseller, right? And they're like, dang, I should have bought that first book.
Yeah, because I'm not going to say that, I'm just like the world's greatest. But when it was like, oh, part 2 is coming, everybody like, wait, part 2 to what? Like, what happened?
That's a big accomplishment.
Yeah, and it was like, well, the first book is on Amazon, so you're not going to understand the first one unless you get the first one. I mean, the second one unless you get the first one. So, yeah, go get the first copy and then come back and talk to me about part 2.
Yeah. Is there any struggles that kind of you had in just the whole process of, getting people to take your writing seriously? Or you being an author seriously?
None that I can think of. Everybody has quote unquote haters.
Right.
But the only difficulty I faced is when Amazon told me they were shut down and I couldn't upload my book.
Yeah.
So that was literally the only issue I ran into. I like I said in the beginning, I've gotten to a place to where I'm open to criticism. I'm open to people's opinion. However, opinions are like assholes. Everybody got one. I can either take it or I can leave it. And if it's something I'm gonna take, I'm gonna put it in my pocket and I can use it for something else. If it's something I'm just gonna let fall on deaf ear, it's just gonna fall on deaf ear.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, everyone's got haters. Mm-hmm. Everyone deals with that.
I don't think I have any though.
Good. Well, I don't know if that's good or bad.
I mean,
I think it's good. I think often you run into like these stories about people saying like, I don't know, I didn't have that much support or nobody was messing with the book when I was trying to sell it. And it seemed like you kind of got a good story from what you told us. Friends supporting?
Friends. Yeah. Friends.
Okay.
Again, friends. I expected family to jump all over this. That wasn't the case.
Reality.
Yeah. I can't even say anything other than that. Like, it's just, reality. And then after a while, friends stopped sharing. And now I'm starting to notice that people I don't even know are like, oh, let me put this in my story. Or, oh, let me share this. Or, when you say part 2 was coming out, and it's like, where you come from? When did I become friends with you? And it's just like, I love it. And it just showed me like who was really in my corner.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, now when I'm writing for Tyler Perry, don't be trying to hit me up.
Right, yeah.
But no, I'm the most sweetest person. Even if that ever did happen, I'm not one to be like, oh, because you didn't, treat somebody a certain type of way. Now, if you take me there, then you're all right. But I'm really not that kind of person. I actually love people where they are. We fuss, we fight. But then I'm like, okay, you'll get over it.
Or forgive, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Will you have anything else to add?
No, I think all my questions are answered, actually.
Yeah, same. So you want to tell the audience where they can find you at?
You can find me on Instagram at blessedambitions_, or the business page Intelligent Noise 2020, and on Facebook, Denisha Barrett, or at provider at the call center.
Yeah. Awesome.
So.
And on Amazon, right?
For sure on Amazon. Twisted Suicide Part 1 is just on there now. So on the 20th of this month, Part 2 will be on there. Twisted Suicide, Raising Rylen.
Awesome.
Dope.
That's amazing. Well, thank you for being on the show. It was really great.
Thank you for having me. So I got you guys some copies.
Oh, wow.
That's yours. Yes. And that's yours. And I hope you guys enjoy it.
I'm excited.
This is going to be great.
Yeah.
See, I just really got into reading probably like 2 years ago because I wasn't much of a reader. But now I'm force myself to read every day.
Mm-hmm. You learn a lot instead of watching social media.
Right, yeah.
You actually learn a lot.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
And more people need to read. So go home and read about this book.
Twisted Suicide.
Twisted Suicide. That's great.
Fire.
Awesome. Yes. Well, Thank you all for listening and watching. It's your boy Chef T.
I'm Will the Spacekid.
And I'm Denisha B.
Yep. So keep it real. See you next week, y'all.
Bye.
Hey.
Thank you all for listening and joining us on another episode of the Stirfry. All the music was created by Steve Ozell. Check him out on all streaming services at Stevo Music, spelled ST3V30 Music. Also, if you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and leave a review. We'd greatly appreciate it. And see you next Tuesday when we talk with James Drew. He's an engineer and an artist. He's worked on music with YFL Kelvin, YSM Flow, and many more. This man has an amazing mind. It was a pleasure speaking with him, so you won't want to miss it. See you next week, y'all.